Good evening and welcome to Feed Yourself Well. I'm Chef Tim Banks and tonight we're going to be preparing dinner. And for dinner we're going to be having jambalaya. And we got some ingredients that we have on hand that were leftovers that we're going to actually use in the dish, as well as some things that we have in the pantry. So the first step we're going to do is put a spin on the jambalaya. Just like a song, you want to make it your own. And I'm going to make it my own by using some poached shrimp instead of cooking the shrimp inside the dish. The dish is basically a traditional one pot meal. It's a rice-based dish originating in Southern Louisiana. It's cousin to paella. So if you're a paella fan, you're definitely going to like jambalaya. So let's get started with the poaching. What I have here in this container is about a cup of water, a cup of white wine, a couple bay leaves, and some peppercorns. We're going to add that to a warm pot. And then we're going to add some whole shrimp. The shrimp are still in the shell, no head, but we want the shell because it's going to impart a lot of flavor into the stock. Okay, so if you can see here in the pot is our poaching liquid. We've got the shrimp. We're going to put those right in. We're going to put a lid on. And we're going to let these guys simmer over medium heat. We don't want a full boil. We just want a slow poach. Poaching is a cooking method where you don't want a full boil. You just want soft bubbles around the rim. This is going to poach for about 10-15 minutes while we continue to assemble the rest of our ingredients. So let's talk about the ingredients for our jambalaya today. We've got some tasso. This tasso is from New Orleans. It's got amazing flavor. Tasso is a ham. And it's really not the shoulder ham that we're accustomed to seeing when we see a large ham. This is from the hind quarter. So it's a little tougher. It's got a little fat because that muscle is used a lot, but it's great for cooking and seasoning. It's got a lot of seasoning already imparted in it. We're gonna dice this up and add it first. So I'm gonna open this up. Add one piece. 2 pieces there. I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm going to dice it because I want it about the same size as the dice I have on the smoked sausage and our pre-cooked chicken. Our chicken is left over from a previous recipe. That's where we're going to add it in. So to dice this up, I'm going to cut it in strips. And I'm just going to do a simple dice. Part of the process of developing flavor is that you want to layer the flavors in. So we're going to build a base with the sausage and the tasso first. If you can see, we're just going to cut through that. It's got a lot of flavor. And we're going to head back over to the large pot and we're going to add in our smoked sausage. What I like about this smoked sausage is that it's got a lot of flavor to it. It's great. Right inside this pot, we're going to have a lot of action going on. Okay, so we got the sausage in the pot. If you can see, it's starting to sweat. Some of the fat is rendering off, and that's going to add a lot of flavor to it. I'm going to add a drizzle of vegetable oil just to help move things along. What we want is not only the fat to be rendered, but we want some caramelization to start happening. That's browning. We want browning because browning is flavor. And if you can see, it's a nice hot pot. It's already starting to pick up a little bit of color. We're going to go right in with the tasso. And we'll continue to cook and sweat this meat out. Oh yeah, looks good, smells amazing already. I don't know if you guys know, but the word jambalaya is a combination of 2 words. Jambon, which is French for ham, and yaya, which is African for rice. So jambon a la yaya translates to jambalaya. A little bit of history about the food. This is considered American regional cuisine. Got lots of influence from Creole culture, from Cajun culture, and just a great way to eat. We're really going to build and add flavor. Now we're going to add in some of the aromatics. Okay, so while the sausage and the tasso are starting to caramelize, it's smelling amazing in here. We got some good flavors happening. We're going to take this bell pepper and do a quick dice on it. We want everything about the same size, uniform pieces, because we want them all to cook together at the same time. So we're going to add a traditional trinity, which is a combination of red bell pepper or green bell pepper, celery, and some diced onion. And I've already done the celery and onion. I'll let you check that out. We got celery here. We got diced onion. So we got about a cup and 2/3 a cup of celery, 2/3 a cup of green bell pepper. I'm going to reserve a little of this pepper. This is going to go right in the pot now. But when we get close to finishing, we're going to add the red bell pepper and the green bell pepper. Well, why? Because we want that vibrant color to come through as the dish cooks. This is going to become part of the base flavor. So once we get these in the pot, we'll continue working and we'll start to continue to add and layer all of our ingredients. I'm going to add in diced onion, diced green bell pepper, and diced celery. We're going to increase the heat on this so we can start cooking. And we're just going to sweat these vegetables out so they become translucent. They're going to add a little moisture to the dish. So when we add our rice in, we're going to be sure not to over-saturate it with liquid, or we'll get a very soft or over liquefied dish, and we don't want it that way. We want it to be a little on the drier side. So we've got peppers, onions, celery, tasso, and smoked sausage all coming together. So if you guys can see, we're starting to pick up some caramelization, some nice color. That's looking great. We're going to go ahead and add in our cooked chicken. Stir that in. Let that continue to cook. Looking good. Now we're going to add in an ingredient that I use all the time. I really like it. It's got a lot of flavor. It adds a big punch to the dish, and it's sofrito. Sofrito is a Latino style cooking base, and it's got onions, tomatoes, culantro, green pepper, everything already in. It's been cooked down, so it's a little concentrated in flavor, but it's going to add a lot of body to this dish. So right in that goes. Let's get it all out. Give it a quick stir. We're looking good. It's coming together nicely. Make sure we get all around the rim, in the center. Everything's nice and coated with sofrito. We've got 2 cups of jasmine rice. That's going to go right in. And we're going to let the rice toast a little bit before we add any liquid to it. So we're going to leave it for just a minute. I'm going to put a lid on it and let that go. While that's happening, let's check our shrimp. Oh wow, look at that. Nice poach, not a heavy boil. The shrimp are cooked, they look like C's. That's what we want. We don't want them to look like O's. O is for overcooked, C is for cooked. That's what we want to go for. So I'm going to shut this off, strain them, cool them, and then we'll peel them to get them ready for the next step. Okay, so we're back. And our rice has started to cook nicely. It's toasting up very well. We like the way that looks. Smells amazing. Now what we're going to add to this is about 3 cups of chicken broth. This is a full 32 ounces, so I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to add just enough to cover the top of the rice. Let's get all that rice back in the pot. We want everybody to cook together. Oh yeah, little more, and that'll do it. Okay, so now we're just gonna let the rice cook. That's it. We're gonna put the top back on, turn the flame to medium, let the rice absorb all that flavorful liquid that's going on there. Our shrimp are cooling. We're gonna peel the shrimp, and we'll get ready to do the finishing touches once this is ready to come out of the pot. So top back on, medium high heat, we're good to go. So let's look at this rice. Oh wow, you guys gotta come see this. This looks amazing. I've got a spatula here. Oh, it's absorbing all that liquid. That's starting to look a lot like jambalaya. I'm gonna say another 10-15 minutes of simmering, and we'll check back on it. But we're in a great place right now. Let's go ahead and add some seasoning to it while we got it at this stage. And I'm just using a seasoning mix of Creole herbs. This is by a company that we discovered the last time we were in New Orleans, and it's Weedat, but the flavor is amazing. So a quick shout out to Weedat. And let's get all that in. Oh yeah. Top back on. We'll check on it in about 10 more minutes. Okay, so our shrimp have cooled down. I'm just gonna peel them. I've already peeled and deveined some of them, but I'm gonna show you how easy they are to peel, cook, just as well as if you had to peel them before you cook them. This is a great way to impart flavor, is to poach them. I really like the way the textures control better. They don't overcook. I'm always concerned about overcooking shrimp because once you do, they become very tough and rubbery. And no one wants to eat a shrimp that is like, you know, just chewing gum. It's not a good flavor. So we got everything cleaned out, and we got all our shrimp ready to go. We're gonna finish up our dish. Our rice is still cooking, so that's coming together, but we're going to prep out some of the remaining garnish. So we've got parsley. Remember, we're gonna add this at the end, the green and red bell pepper combination to maintain the integrity of the color. We're gonna put it in when we add the shrimp so it's nice and bright. It's going to steep. It's not gonna be crunchy or chewy or have that raw appeal. It's still gonna have a cooked taste, but it's gonna be nice and vibrant in the presentation. I like a lot of parsley, as you can see. That's about a cup of parsley. And we're going to just mince it up. I'm gonna break it down. Parsley is one of those flavors that's so mild and subtle, but when you don't have it, you miss it. It's great for finishing. It's got a little citrusy note to it that wakes everything up when you add it to the dish. And this is gonna be the very last thing to go in. Nice mince. Let's keep it going. We're gonna break it down a little finer. We're not gonna go old school French powdery mince. We don't want it that tight, but we do want it broken down enough so we can get some nice flavor release into the dish. Okay, so we got that done. Put that in a cup. Then we're gonna do our green onions. We'll add the green onions to the same cup. They're gonna be a finishing as well. What I like about these little bundles of green onions, I've probably been growing this back for about maybe 2 weeks now. I just cut off the green, insert the roots in some water, and the green just regenerates and grows right back. We're gonna slice these up, just like we did the parsley, but not as fine. Just do a second run on that, because we're gonna want them dispersed throughout the dish, but that nice green onion flavor. Okay, So we're moving in the right direction now. We're going to take a peek at our rice, see what that looks like, and then we're going to build in the remainder of the garnish for our dish. Okay, so we're going to check on our jambalaya. It's been a few minutes, but we're going to check to see how the moisture is being absorbed by the rice. Oh yeah, we're in good shape. You can see most of the moisture is now gone. This is a great time to add in the red and green bell pepper that we held to the side. We're just going to fold that in, and it's going to steep and all come together. I just cut the fire off before I took the lid off, so we've stopped the additional heat, but it's carryover cooking now. It's continuing to cook, and it's going to keep picking up some of that moisture. So we'll put the lid back on, and we're going to move it to our workstation where we can go back and actually continue the next step. So for safety, I'm going to use a towel. Take the pot over. Oh yeah, looking good. Okay, so we got our ingredients all in the pot now, the additions. We're gonna add in the parsley and green onion. Right in. Cooked shrimp. Right in. I'm gonna grab my spatula and give it a quick turn. And I'm gonna make sure you guys can see this. I really want you guys to get a good look at this, because this is what we want when we talk about jambalaya. Oh yeah. Cooked evenly, nothing sticking. We like that. I'm gonna grab a large spoon and we'll dish. You can serve this with French bread. Oh, a nice toasted piece of garlic French bread would be amazing with this. Oh, that looks great. We'll get some of those nice shrimp right on top. You can see the red and green bell pepper. That's what we like in a jambalaya. There we go. I'm a shrimp eater, so I'm gonna keep a couple extra shrimp for myself. All right, there we have it. That's our dish tonight. I don't know if you can see it, but dinner is served. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click like, follow at Feed Yourself Well on YouTube and on Instagram at feed.yourself.well. Have a good night. We're about to eat.